Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of our Sports Card Tracker program. Today we are going to look at the About menu. But before we start looking at the About menu, we have a few items that need to be changed in the program. In our menus, we're going to add an extra help menu item. We are going to add a variations help item. So to do this, it's menu item, variations help item equals new menu item variations. And I'll add that before the backup database. Variations help item. We need to add our event handler. So it's variations help item dot set on action, and make sure that we use our menu event handler. So the second menu item we're going to add, if we go up to our My Collections, we have a backup database item, but we don't have a restore database item. So we're going to add a restore database item. So it's menu item restore that database item equals new menu item restore database. Now I'm going to add that after our backup database item. Restore database item. Oh, I misspelled menu, so correct that. And we want to add our handler. So it's restore database item dot set on action and menu event handler. So that's our housekeeping. For the About menu, we're going to create a new class. And we're going to call it About menu. That will create a blank class for us. So the first thing I want to do is create a couple of constants with information about our program. To do this, it's private static final string. And the first one is Java version. And we're using OpenJDK 26. And the build is 26 plus 35-2893. Now the next one, private static final string. And this one is going to be our MySQL version. MySQL version equals, and our version is MySQL 8.4. And my quotation marks. Now the next one is for our JavaFX version. Private static final string JavaFX version equals JavaFX 26. Our next constant is going to be private static final string NetBeans version equals Apache NetBeans IDE 29. And our final constant, private static final string project version equals 1.00.00.001 snapshot. Now we want to create a constructor, public about menu, and we're going to have a stage passed to it. And the stage we're going to call this stage primary stage. We'll have to add our imports. Stage about menu equals new stage. And we're going to create a new border pane. Border pane about layout equals new border pane. Add our import. So with this about menu, we want to have it so that you have to close the about menu before you can work with the program again. To do this, we put in about menu dot init modality, and our modality is going to be application underscore modal. And we're going to make the owner our primary stage, which is the stage that we pass to this constructor. So it's about menu dot init owner primary stage. Now we're going to set up our scene. Set up about scene. So we declare our scene. So it's scene about scene equals new scene. And we're going to pass it our about layout. And we want to use the same dimensions to our main screen, but we want to have it a little less wide so you can see the screen behind it. So we're going to get the constants from our main class. We want our default width, and we're going to subtract 100 from it, so it's not as wide. And then we want our default height. Don't forget the imports. Let's set up our content. Content setup area. We are going to set up our content using a VBox. So we want VBox about content equals new VBox. Now we're going to have 4 different items in our VBox. We want to use a 4 here. Don't forget your import. Now our first item in our VBox, we're going to declare a label. So it's label out image equals new label. We want our imports. We've added an image into our resources called about banner. To get this image, it's image and I'm just going to call it image equals new image. And we want to put in the path of where the image is. That's com/bor/resources/ and we want, and it's named about banner. So we put about banner.png. We have to add our import. So we have to run the image through an image viewer. So we're going to declare an image viewer. It's image view. And I'm just going to call it img capital V equals new image view. And I'm going to pass it our image. Don't forget your imports. Be sure you choose the JavaFX import. Now we're going to add that image to our label. So about image get graphic, and we're going to pass it our image v. So our second item that we're going to have in our v box is a description of our program. So I'm going to create another label, and I'm going to call it about description. Equals new label. And I'm going to have a formatted text field. So I'm going to use 3 quotes. So what we're going to put in here is just a description about the program. You can put whatever you want in here, but I'm going to put in here sports card tracker is created using the Gluon JavaFX and I want that to line up. And the Apache NetBeans platform. And is licensed under the Apache license version 3.0. Just bring this over so it lines up underneath. And that's our description. Now we want to add our constants showing the versions of the different products as part of our project. So I'm going to call this details. I need to create a string, and I'm going to call it details. And I'm going to give it the value of product version colon /t /t. Those are tabs. And then I'm going to add our constant Java version. And then I'm going to append to that /n for new line. Then I'm going to add javafx /t /t plus java _fx _version. I'm going to go down to a new line. I'm going to put a plus in /n for new line. MySQL colon /t 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 This will align everything to where I want it to look in our string. MySQL version plus. Named our constant wrong, so I'll correct that. /n for new line. And this is Apache NetBeans IDE colon /t plus NetBeans version. So that's our string. So we're going to declare a text area. And I'm going to call it about software equals new text area. And I'm going to pass it our variable details. Don't forget your imports. Make sure you choose the JavaFX imports. And our fourth is going to be a close button. So we want to declare a button. And we're going to call it close button equals new button. And we're going to give it the value of close. Don't forget your import. Now I want an action for that close button. So we go close button dot set on action. And it's an action event. And we're going to call it a close event. We're going to use our lambda. We need another bracket here. So we want to add our import. So we want stage equals, we're going to cast it to stage, close button dot get scene dot get window, and then we want to close that stage. Now in our main class, we're going to create two new constants. We want to use them across our application. So we're going to call them public, static, final, int. And we're going to call this button width equals 100 and public static final int button height equals 50. So back to our about menu. For my close button, I need to set a minimum size. So set min size, and we're going to pass this our main button width and our main button height. I made a spelling mistake on button width, so I'll correct that. So that's the end of the content setup. Next, we want to give our about menu a title. So about menu dot set title. That's about sports card tracker. And we want to set up a new icon for our about menu. We have a icon created for this. It's called about_icon. So to add the icon, it's about menu dot get icons, add, and new image. And we want to put our location. So it's com/for/resources/about icon png. Now we want to add the contents of our about menu to the VBox, and then add our VBox to our layout. So we'll set up a section for this. Content of about menu. So to do this, about content dot get children dot all, and we want to add these in the order we want them to appear. So it's about image, about description, about software, and finally our close button. Now we need to set up our alignment for about content dot set alignment, and we want that to be position center. Now we want to add our VBox to our layout. About layout dot set, and we're going to put this in the center of our border layout. So it's set center. We're going to put in here about content. Now we need to add our scene to our stage. So it's about menu dot set scene, and we're going to add our about scene. And now we need to show our stage. So it's about menu dot show. Now in our sports card tracker, if we go up to our menu event handlers, we need to add a new case. So let's add the case about, and we want to use our constructor about menu. So it's about menu, and we're going to call it about equals new about menu, and we're going to pass it our stage. And then, because we don't want any more commands to rerun, we're going to put in a break. Now we compile this. So when we run it, we log in. Now when we go to our help about menu, we can see we have our icon. We have our title, About Sports Card Tracker. We have our banner. We have our description. And we have our product information. And we have the close button. Now, as you can see, I can type in where our software information is. So we want to get that fixed. Let's go back into our program. And in the About menu, after we declare our About software, we want to add in the command about software dot set editable, and we want that to be false. we're going to compile it again. We're going to log in. We're going to go to our About menu. And now we can select information, but we can't alter it. So that's episode 3. I hope you enjoyed it. Tune in next time, and we will look at creating tables for our database.